from the from the beginning. For example, what do we uh, start with writing in the paper? Uh, First of all, as you know, that we start with the title. In the in the form of methodology, I'll get back it later. But before that, let me just tell about the structure of the paper. How do you write a research paper? So title. How does title come? I'll tell it later while I'll talk about the methodology. First title. After title, as you know, that you need to put an abstract. What should you write in the abstract? In the first sentence of the abstract, you should introduce your topic. Second sentence of the abstract, you should talk about the objective of the paper. Third sentence of the abstract should be the methodology, methods, the way you collect data, and after collecting, the way you have analyzed your data. And then fourth, findings. What did you find from the research? Fifth, significance. What is the importance of this study? So 5 sentences or 6 are okay for your abstract. Uh, when should you write the abstract? At the end. At the end means when you complete writing the entire paper, then you write the abstract, because you don't know what will be the findings or significance before you complete the research. And then you move, what you do, you can give some keywords in the abstract. Keywords means you like write keywords, and then you, what are the key topic, striking points of your paper, maximum 5 to 8 words in the point of keywords. And then you write the introduction. In introduction, there has to be 3 different things. Again, you have to give the background of your topic. Background means like what does the existing knowledge connected to your topic? What is the existing knowledge? And then why should people read your paper? What is the importance? How will it contribute in the field? You should put the significance in the introduction. At the end of your introduction, you should specify the research problem. Now, what is research problem? Let me talk about that point. Uh, after the introduction, as I said, at the end of the introduction, you should find out the research problem or research gap, or like purpose of the study. You can make a separate point, or you can write at the end of the introduction. For example, COVID-19, like many researchers around the world, across the globe, are investigating the phenomenon, that how can we accommodate with or adjust with the changing teaching trends, so on and so forth. Now you also want to do a research. So what will you do? Because many people are already doing that. So what will be your focus? How are you different than others? How are you different than others? That is the problem. That is the gap. If you can't be different than others, that's not yet a research. You should be different than others. You have a distinctive focus there. That's a problem. And then how do you find the problem? It can be personal experience. Probably you might encounter in your workstation, or you might see happening somewhere in the real world, or you might read paper. For example, somebody has researched on something, and you found that there is some gap the person did not access. So it can come in 3 different ways. One, it can be personal experience. It can be something where you work, and something from you can go through the literature, means others study, and then you can get a, like, you can come up with a problem. And from that problem one, suppose you want to present something that uh, online class does not have any real value in students life. You want to argue with this. If you are the only person in the world that you think that online class does not work, so this will not be a research. This will never be a research. What you have to do, that if you feel that online class does not have any value, or it does not impact on our on students life, so this has to be supported by the theory, this has to be supported by the scholars, those who have done research. For example, it can be Noam Chomsky, it can be Stephen Krashen, it can be like Jeremy Harmer, it can be Dyson Larson, it can be Richard and Rogers, so on and so forth. But if you only believe that this is not working, so this is not a research. This has to be supported by others, and that is what we call literature review. Literature review is not something that you copy some lines from others and put in your paper. It's not something like that. Literature review, the purpose of literature review is that it support your abstract ideas. Abstract ideas, you feel something, you support by others. You get your ideas supported by others. That's what is literature review. Often we get wrong with literature review. We just copy some ideas from others and put in our paper. That doesn't work really. uh, so how, like, how many literature should you review? It depends on your concept. How many angle do you want to prove? How many uh, angle, like, what is your conceptual framework? How many concepts do you want to put? So uh, like limiting that like 10, 20, 15, that doesn't make sense. It only makes sense as much as you need to support your ideas. If you have 4 angles, you might bring probably 15, you might bring even 100, you might bring 5 only. That depends on the angles you specify. And then after that, what comes? Methodology. Yes, that's the key part of the paper. uh, Methodology and method. Does anyone have any idea about these two words?
So
Method.
methodology comes like a set of methods. Method, we could say a single procedure, like there could be so many steps or a few steps, but the methodology is a kind of set of methods. There would be a few methods or many methods or a number of methods.
Okay, Rakib,
Like in a particular study, we could use this methodology in a particular study or area of study, like where we need to apply a few methods, a single method, or it could be like many methods or a number of methods.
okay, thank you for your response. Methodology, just let me add few words. Methodology is something, the philosophy, the design of the entire paper, design. For example, uh, the methodology is experimental design. Your study has experimental design. Under experimental design, there are a lot of other steps. Method is one of the steps. Experimental design, then method just explains how do you collect the data, nothing else. Method means how do you collect the data. Then after that, context, where will you collect the data. After that, instrument, how will you collect the data, what will you use. And then it can be like, uh, then after that, data analysis comes. But let me explain these steps first. Methodology, as I said, experimental. Design is experimental. Then I said method, way of collection data. Then I said context. Then what? Instrument, right? So in method, you explain how will you collect data. Probably you can go to Asian University of Bangladesh, fifth semester students, or probably like you collect data from Asian University Bangladesh. How? Why did you select Asian University of Bangladesh? What is the reason? Probably it is convenient for you, right? Or you think that you might collect
Yes.
data from five universities. So which five universities will you collect? Like will you pick Asian University, Uttora, North South, or which one? And why will you collect those? You have to specify in method. You need to specify that. You might tell that I collected top two university and bottom two university and one in the middle. This is like making that is also, there is a term, this is called stratification. How did you stratify that? Like, or randomly, like you can make the list of 100 universities and you can pick five. That's called random sampling. Random, you picked the universities. Or you did not pick anything, you went only for the Asian University. That's convenient sampling because it's convenient for you to go. But reliability of research might get down though, but that's convenient. That is still a research. Reliability, validity is a different question, right? So that's what you need to specify in the method, that why did you pick, which type of sampling, random or stratification or quota. Quota means like top two, bottom two, middle one, quota, you are making a quota. Or quota, it can be like regional, from Uttara to, from Banani to, from Dhanmondi to. So you're stratifying and making quota, like I'll pick like opinions of students from different region. And then what I said, setting. What will you pick? Asian University, fifth semester students. That's your setting. Setting is place, time, and action, right? So what, like you probably particular like fall semester, that's a time, or a spring semester, and then the place is Asian University Ashulia or Uttara, uh, and then mm, yeah, that's what is setting. That's fine, and you specify the reason there as well. Like what is the reason of collecting, picking Asian University only, not other university as well. And then instrument. Does anyone have idea about the instruments? Like you want to collect data from students, right? How will you collect? What will you do?
It could be like
What can you do?
I could use questionnaires. I could use like I could go through interviews. I could
Mm-hmm.
mm, uh, go through a debate. I could go through a like discussion, group discussion, or several group
Mm-hmm.
discussions. So these are the ways
Mm-hmm.
I could use. Or some other ways like I could
Okay, brilliant,
conduct a
brilliant.
survey. I could conduct a survey.
Yeah, you can conduct survey, you can interview people, you can do FGD. FGD means focus group discussion. That's what Rakib said in different word, the debate or discussion. That's called FGD. Then you can observe classes, right? You can have observation protocol and observe classes. So whatever you use to collect information, data from others, data from the participants, that's what is your instrument. Instrument is not something that device. It's not a device. It's like whatever you use to collect the information, that's your uh, that's your instrument. For example, you have three questions to ask Shamim sir. You want to interview him, and then you are recording with a mobile phone. Your mobile phone is not the instrument. That three questions are the instruments. Did you get the point? Whatever you use to collect the data, like why I said this, because I was encountered with this confusion with my students before. So what is the instrument, the mobile phone or the questions? Those three questions are the instruments, not the mobile phone. uh, and then you can also uh, di- explain the background distinctively about the participants as well, like fifth semester students, why did you pick them, what is the reason, like uh, you can tell it, that they are doing, for example, you want like there is a course like advanced writing, right? You want to evaluate the writing skills
Yes,
of
sir.
students, their beliefs and practices. Suppose this is your topic, that students beliefs regarding argumentative essay and practices. You can interview them before about their beliefs, and you can let them write on a topic, and you want to say, so which students do you need? The students who or like who are participating in a course, writing course, probably that is in third semester. This is why you're picking them. So you write the rationale. You need to write the rationale. Why are you picking them? So these are the steps of methodology. These all are the steps of methodology. Like if you keep methodology as an umbrella term, under that, as I said, method, participant, setting, instruments, those all come there. Let me get back to the word methodology again. In the like after the methodology, I was talking about the experimental design. That is the place you need to also specify the most crucial point, that whether it is qualitative research or it is quantitative research or it is mixed. And now how do you define whether one research will be qualitative, quantitative or mixed? Any idea?
The criteria I was able to
Yes.
ask you, like I was preparing, like in my mind that I would ask you this question: what would be the criteria to choose the method, like qualitative or quantitative or sometimes mixed? So, basing on the research, like if I'm doing a research where I have to find out, like, okay, for example, how many people in a locality of Dhaka city are being infected by COVID-19 since
Mm-hmm.
March 2019 to like October 2020. So
Mm-hmm.
in this time span, if I have to like go with the like research, and if I have to use a method, so I better use this quantitative method. Like I have to collect the numbers of the patients who had like
Mm-hmm.
who have
Mm-hmm.
been reported to the hospitals or who have been identified with
Mm-hmm.
this COVID-19 symptoms and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go with this quantitative method rather like going with qualitative method, like collecting the abstract things or collecting the attributes and all that. No, I would go with this quantitative method, the numbers I would collect, the patients who have been reported or who have been admitted, infected, those things. So it's a tiny example, I would say, in brief.
Okay, just let me add few things with Rakib.
Yes,
Uh, he pointed out correctly one part of the research, that quantitative. That, for example, you want to explain things that about the trends of COVID-19, like infected people. So from March to October. So what can you do? You can collect that data from Health Ministry, or probably someone there was in, like, I don't know, like there was a hospital who was like every day they were giving the report.
Update like
What is that?
ICE,
Update?
I guess like that's a
IEDCR.
ICD or whatever.
I'm not
IEDCR. IEDCR.
IDCR, the research center, like
Previously it was
IDS.
IDCR,
IEDCR, but
yes.
now this is the Directorate of Health. Directorate of
Yes,
Health.
yes, sir.
স্বাস্থ্য
That's what
অধিদপ্তর।
the
Yes.
yes. And they do research regarding the
Yeah.
contagious diseases.
Okay, whatever that is. Mhm. So you can like probably 400 in
Yeah.
April. It increased dramatically. In like in the following month May, it decreased. uh, Whatever, you can collect the data, like data is in the form of number, right?
Yes.
In the form of number, or whatever, or that you can identify few carrots that uh, COVID-19 is increasing because people is not using mask, because people are careless. Then another question probably that it is increasing because of like ill management or mismanagement of government. Yes or no? And then probably another question, and then so on and so forth. Probably you have 5 or 10 questions, and you have been through 100 or 200 students or common people. You can collect data like this as well, like you can convert those into numbers, like 100 out of 100 people, 60 people has said that because of the problem with mismanagement, COVID-19 has increased. So 60% people think that due to mismanagement it increased, whereas only 40% thinks it was because of the recklessness of the common people, so on and so forth. And then this will be quantitative method. You can measure, you can count data. Where you can count data, measure data, measurable data, that's it, that's what is quantitative approach or method. And then probably, for example, Shamim sir or Mushfiq sir, they're expert. What do you want to do? They, and including few others, probably four or five others, you want to have a discussion from those experts, roundtable or talk. You can ask them, sir, what do you think are the reasons of COVID-19 increasing? Why it is increasing? What will be the implication in future? How can we solve the problems? Three questions to all of them. They will discuss. You can record their opinions, feelings, and expressions. So these are the ideas will be coming from the experts. You hardly can convert into numbers because these are not something that yes or no, right? This is called FGD, or you can even
And these are not
interview.
concrete. These are like kind of abstract. Like you
Yeah,
can measure them.
you can measure. You cannot measure them. You can do FGD, or you can interview first Shamim sir, second Mushfiq sir, or probably Mahbub sir or someone else. You can go and interview them with the same questions, and you can write or record. So look the data form. It's descriptive narrative data form. When you are collecting data form like this to complete your paper, that is qualitative. Qualitative. Qualitative, which is not measurable, where people share their opinions, feelings, concepts, even some stories. So on the one hand, it's quantitative, hand, qualitative, which you cannot measure. You can only find the pattern that, okay, what is the pattern? Implications in future. Shamim sir has said this, Mushfiq sir has said that, Mahbub sir has said that, Mohsin sir has said that. Those are your data. You don't need to manipulate. You include all of them, all of their opinions in your paper. And then there the another one which is like important, and mostly we get confused, but that is important to identify, the mix method. When you triangulate your data, when you mingle both, like you do survey to find quantitative data, measurable data, and you do interview or FGD or something else, a case study, uh, and then find data, and then you mingle, triangulate. This is called data triangulation. Data triangulation. It might be, you might have two different objectives of your paper, or even one objective, that is fine. So for one, you are collecting measurable data. For the other one, you're collecting like non-measurable data, like in the form of words, in the form of theory, concepts, opinions, expressions, and then you mingle and triangulate. That's called data triangulation. That's the data triangulation. That's like that comes from mixed method. So normally we have quantitative approach, qualitative, and mixed method. These three. Uh, there is probably one more. I don't have much idea about that. That's about the literature, interpretive approach. That's what probably Mushfiq sir could give some lights on that
Yes,
later.
yes.
But
Okay,
yeah,
thank you very much, Mr. Jahangir Alam, honorable faculty member of Asian University for Women, for I should say this is a fantastic presentation or wonderful presentation, and our beloved students and dear students, verily they are enlightened, and I myself also enlightened with the setting of the research and research methodology. Thank you very much from the part of the seminar. We have recorded the program, and if possible, we will send it for the, if there is no objection from the part of Jahangir Alam sir, we will send it to um, YouTube, YouTube channel, because
no
I think
problem.
this is the
Yeah,
this is the fantastic presentation. And now I would like to give the floor to our beloved students. You may ask, and you feel free. You should feel free to ask any questions regarding research and research methodology to Honorable Jahangir Alam sir. You can ask him. Then we will listen some words from our honorable guest. Our guest has already joined. You know him, Mushfiq Mahmood sir. He is the most resourceful person in our faculty. He will give some light to us also, inshallah. Okay, now I would like to give the floor to our beloved students. You can ask question to our research person, Mr. Jahangir Alam sir.
Okay, I have a question. I'm Ashaful Rahul
yeah,
from
sure.
second batch. You have already discussed and clarify all the things very perfectly, which we clear us. But I have a little bit unclear on the abstract. What will be the
Abstract.
abstract?
Yeah.
What is the abstract in your sense? Please, can you repeat it again? Can you explain it again?
Okay, good. Abstract is the nutshell. It's a summary of your paper. So while you are composing your paper or research, so why I recommended you to write at the end, because you have different steps. For example, abstract, then introduction, and then you write your objectives. Then you go for the literature review, you go for the methodology. Under the methodology, there is method, setting, like data collect, and then findings. After findings, you have probably limitations, or you might not give that, and then conclusion and recommendation. So probably 8 to 9 steps, right? So abstract is one of the step where, while as a reader, when someone reads, so that they can understand what did you write inside. This is nothing new. What did you write inside the paper? What was the way, like you apply, what like approach or method you applied to conduct the paper, and what did you get, and why is it important? Abstract, it doesn't mean something abstract that, but this is very important. Abstract, what we mean, that it's out of the world, probably not concrete. Don't like mess up those things. Abstract is very important, that give a brief insights, brief precision about your paper. uh, like each sentence of your abstract tells something. As I said, in the first sentence, you need to introduce the topic. Second sentence, you need to introduce the objective of your paper. So you are doing everything what you are writing inside the paper in the abstract. Uh, is that clear to you, or you need more clarification?
No, sir, it is
So
clear to me.
it's a kind of
Okay,
offering a glass of
okay,
juice. Like,
Rakib, I'm saying
okay.
there are some internet interruption. May probably we cannot listen Mr. Jahangir Alam very clearly. Since Ashahul Rahul was asking about abstract, our honorable research person explained it very nicely and precisely. Abstract, we have some framework of the research, and after selecting your topic, the second, our first terminology is abstract, but you will have to write the abstract after having done of your research. That means you will have to write the introduction, you will have to write the hypothesis, you will have to write the objectives, research questions, literature review, research methodology, data analysis, or findings, then recommendation or limitations, on conclusion. Then you will have to write the abstract. Why? Because if anybody read your abstract, he can get the clear idea about your whole paper or whole research project. So what
Overview.
Jahangir Alams have said, that is the basic point. That is the summary of your research. And in each and every sentence of your abstract is very important, because it will focus your topic, it will focus your objective, it will focus your findings, it will focus your conclusion. Everything is there, and it may have some keywords. I think you have got the point, Mr. Ashraf.
Yes, sir.
100%.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your elaborating this thing
So
very nicely.
it's like I wanna sell 40 kgs of mangoes or apples. So I'm making a glass of juice, like out of a few apples or mangoes, and offering to the customer. Please try it out.
Yes,
If the customer is satisfied with the glass of juice, apple juice or mango juice, he's gonna buy the whole bunch of, like, we could say, mangoes and
yes,
apples.
very,
It's like
very
that.
nice idea. Okay, I think the question should come from the part of the female students. Only the Rakib and Rahul is talking. I encourage our female students to ask questions to our honorable research person, Mr. Jahangir Alam sir, because you will get the clear and very precise and very fantastic notion about each and every pros and cons of the research and research methodology to take. I would like to ask Sanjida. Sanjida, can you make any question for research person?
Yes, sir. I have one. Assalamu
Mhm.
alaikum, sir.
Walaikum
I have
assalam.
a question regarding the research, questions like when when we'll be collecting the data. So if I'm gonna work with the different ages of people, like the children's, adults, teenagers, then what type of questions should be eligible for them according to the language that would be eligible, and that would not be embarrassed or make them feel awkward or something.
Okay. Sanjida, thank you for your question, but let me clarify one thing first. Research
Sure, sir.
questions and survey questions are different things.
Okay.
Research questions is something you can substitute research questions with research objectives. It can be research problem or problem of the study. For example, if you have problem of the study, you don't need to have research questions in your paper anymore. Or if you have objectives, then you don't need the research questions there. And then survey, that is something there, it's part of the research ethics. Embracing, you should not embrace people, like, for example, you should not ask them that uh, like probably if you ask something to a girl, that what is your age or what is your weight, so they will be embraced. You should have a like idea like which like, but if you ask the same question to the boy, boy probably will tell I'm 25 or something without any like emotional feeling. So in that case, what can you do? Uh, Probably you can write a range that are you between 20 to 30 or 20 to 30, 25. You don't need the exact age like 23 or 24. Or you can see that students who sleep late in the morning, their age, their weight is increasing. So you want to do a two like a distinction. One, those who don't sleep. One, like who sleep. And then you want to find, for example, weight, but you cannot ask weight to the people that like your weight is 65 or 70. So rather you can give a range that are you over 50 or over 60 or less than 60. When did you measure that? These are the just example. You even can't ask people that which caste are you from.
Yes.
For example, you are ask, or which tribal background do you have? You can't ask people that. So if it is really important for your paper, so take permission. Or you can tell that where are you from? Chittagong. That probably that that particular place, you know, that are you from there, instead of asking that are you Chakma. Instead of asking that, you can ask that. uh, and the language level, it's not something that, even if you think that your participants don't understand English, you convert into Bangla. You need the data. You don't need to show up your linguistic ability there. You need the data. So translate in Bangla. For example, your participants doesn't even understand Bangla. They understand only the tribal language. Try to convert in that language to get the like reliable data. Sanjida, am I
Yes, sir.
saying something serving the purpose of your question? Did you ask
Yes, sir.
this
Okay.
sort of question?
Okay.
Sir, I got,
Thank
Thank you.
I really
thank you.
got my answer. Thank you so much for that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sanjida, for asking such a nice question. And our honorable research person, Jahangir Alam sir, explained it and given the nice answer. I would like to add one more point. That is, since there is a talks of research ethics, or you are asking about that whether the participants or the target population whom you are asking the question, they will feel embarrassed or awkward, then we can use our rationale, we can use our conscience, that what may make our participant, our target population embarrassed or awkward. That there, each and every researcher will have such type of rationale and conscience. You need to develop your conscience. We need to develop our conscience and rationale. That which question may make ourselves embarrassed, that may be embarrassing for others. And another point is our research person said about the cushion, research cushion and questionnaire. This is the different thing. Questionnaire is related for asking someone, but research cushion is not related to asking someone. You need to, most probably I talked about it. It's clear to you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Okay. Anyone more to ask our honorable research person?
Sir, I want to ask one question.
Please, please.
Mhm.
Sir, at first I
Please
would like...
introduce yourself first. Introduce yourself first.
I'm Saiful Islam from 44th batch.
Yes.
At first I would like to thank our honorable guest to describe everything very nicely, but I have a little bit problem to realize the some things in research methodology.
Mhm.
You nicely mentioned that many things in methodology, that methods, experimental, context, instruments. But sir, I didn't get properly experimental and context. Would you please describe again, sir?
Okay, thank you very much, Saiful. Experimental is a design, and that's not the only type. There are more, like longitudinal study, there is survey study, there is case study, there is action research, there is phenomenology. So I just mentioned one of the design. There are 6 different designs of the research. Like, for example, you are doing only a research based on survey. So that's not experimental. Experimental, while you experiment, while you have control group and experimental group, only then that's experimental design. I gave an example. For example, group A, group B. So students of group A are taking cookies in the morning, on brand of cookies, and B not taking cookies, and both of them are taking a test, performance test. For example, a quiz. Group A who took cookies, group B who did not take any cookies, are they performing same? You're experimenting. That particular brand of cookies, does it have any intervention in the result? Right? So that's experimental design, intervention study. But if you do survey study, like why students are getting overweight, or why students are not joining any classes, you're doing survey among 100 students, 500 from probably top 10 universities, sorry, 50 from top 10 universities, and 50 from probably bottom 10 universities. And then you want to find the opinions that what are the common reasons. That's a survey study, right? So this is another design. So experimental is a design. That is not the only part of like methodology. Methodology is a design, and there are different designs: experimental, survey, longitudinal, as I said, phenomenology, case study, so on. This is like, did you get the answer about experimental, Saiful,
Yes,
or
sir.
not yet?
I got it.
Okay, I would like to. Oh, sorry, I'm
And then
interrupting.
you said about Mhm.
Context.
Context is a place where you collect the data.
Yes.
Context
Thank you, sir.
or setting, you can tell setting, even you could tell setting, but that's a place
Okay,
where you, yeah,
uh,
sir.
in reference to the question of Saiful Islam, our honorable research person explained it very nicely. For the better known to all of our beloved students, I would like to say that today we have arranged a seminar on research methodology. But research methodology is not a single thing; it's a huge matter. And our honorable research person, Mr. Jahangir Alam, a faculty member of Asian University for Women, has explained it very precisely. And I, along with Mr. Jahangir Alam, we attended a course at University of Dhaka for 3 months, only on research methodology. So it's a huge term. He said it is an umbrella, and under this umbrella, there are many things. So since your course is for 4 months duration, we cannot analyze all the matters. But as far I have seen that our honorable research person explained it very precisely and very easily. So we should take it in a very easy manner. We shouldn't go to the complex matter. So I think our Saiful Islam is very sincere student. He asked very exact question to our honorable research person, and most probably you have got the answer, right?
What can I do? Like, if anyone is really interested to read, I can share a book. There, the
Yes.
book comprises like 700 pages. It's
Yes.
written by
Yes.
Creswell. If you are interested, you can read. There are all the like designs, like 6 designs, or constructive,
Yes.
positivism, a lot of other things as well. So you can go
Okay,
through and
I think
get some
we
insights
can.
as well.
If this book is available with you, you can send us. We will make it available in our online study portal. Then our learners will be benefited from that. Sure.
Okay, so I can email you, Shamim sir,
Okay, thank you, sir.
for sure.
Okay, any more question? Okay, if there is no question, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to our honorable research person, Mr. Jahangir Alam sir from Asian University for Women. Today we have a fantastic and wonderful session on research methodology, and it will be it will be, I think it's a milestone for us, for the students of research, those who are doing research in this semester. And I think this is the biggest batch for doing research. Many students are there, and you are definitely enlightened, and I myself also enlightened with the words of Mr. Jahangir Alam. Now, I would like to request our honorable guest of today's session, and one of the most resourceful person in our department, one of the most senior faculty in our department, and his PhD is utmost at the age. He will be declared as a doctor very soon, inshallah. Now, I'd like to request Mr. Mushfiq Mahmood sir to make an address before our students of research. Please, Mr. Mushfiq Mahmood sir.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Um,
Mushfiq sir, oh, you're coming with video. Okay, appearing with video, please.
You are doing your research methodology course in this whole semester, so you have learned many things from your course teacher, Mr. Our beloved teacher, Mr. Shamim Ahmed, is very sincere in thinking on research methodology and teaching his students. This has been already proved to you. A research person like Jahangir Alam sir has been invited by Shamim Ahmed. This proves his sincerity in his students most. You have learned a lot on research methodology, how to do research, etc., from Shamim sir and Jahangir Alam sir. You have heard that you have to pass vast time to have a complete knowledge on research methodology. Perhaps your teachers went through a 3 months course, and if you want to get yourself well known about research oriented terminologies, you may need 6 months to 1 year's serious study on it. So actually, from my side, there remains almost nothing to add, but in spite of having time constraint or having no scope to talk that much, I want to, which are very much important. As a teacher, or as I should say, a very much insignificant researcher, I have marked some kind of problem among the students of our country, or I shouldn't say that among the students, among all researchers of our country. I have marked some kind of shortcomings to talk on those points, and that is, most of us do not have got our research competence developed. Research competence, a term. Though this is not a term of your discussion on research methodology, but something related to researching or successful, meaningful, effective, research-friendly atmosphere, and that is research competence. If you know answers of all the questions relating research methodology, research method, data collection, etc., and if you do not have your research competence developed, your every effort on doing research will be proved fruitless. This won't bring any kind of result at all. Now, what I mean actually by the term research competence, it means you should have a deep thinking faculty, a deep thinking capability. You should have the capability to observe things very much subtly, widely, deeply. You should have the power to ask questions. You should have your five sense organs activated. Your five sense organs should function with utmost sensibility. You should have developed your critical faculty activated, your philosophical faculty activated. To be a researcher, this is a must for you to know, to have a basic uh, mm, philosophical knowledge, philosophical knowledge, all the of all the branches of philosophy like epistemology, ontology. If you do not understand what ontology is, or what kinds of answers the branch of philosophy ontology provides us, you won't be able to find out any research gap. You have heard about research gap, and your researching starts from research gap. But if you cannot ever find out the research gap, how would you perform your researching successfully? In a country, many thinkers, many sincere thinkers make laugh of researchers like us. They just make fun of us. Why? We, the researchers, very often write down articles or thesis papers which actually mean nothing. Some children, or a very uh, a man who cannot think that much, whose thinking, whose understanding is very silly, very shallow kind of thinking uh, controls most of us. If you start doing your research with thoughts which seem to social thinkers, politicians, or other cultural activists, that this man is this man do not have any deeper concerns. Just roam around with around some shallow questions, then your research won't be accepted by the people, and it won't actually provide anything to develop the society. So you have to develop your critical faculty, your philosophical faculty, your observational faculty, and what should you do to solve all these things, to, to develop this kind of personal qualities. We have to study basics of the discipline philosophy. We have to study basics of the discipline psychology. We have to study some prominent theoretical uh, areas, like I have mentioned in many of my classes, critical theories, cultural studies. You have to know what Karl Marx have given birth of, or Antonio Gramsci, or Stuart Hall is suggesting us to do. Studying on all these things would make you a competent thinker, a competent observer, a competent, sensible most person. All of this, having your all these faculties activated, uh, mm, uh, functioned at some point of your life. It can be after 2 year or 3 year, you will get yourself one of the conscious most citizens civilization needs. Only at that time you will be able to find out right research gaps, to ask right research questions, to proceed your study with real logics, to uh, get answers which really matter to change your society, to change your civilization, and so on. So before knowing research methodology, getting yourself competent these ways is very much important. And I am actually this should not be my should not be only my concern. Most of our researchers should feel sorry, thinking that we in our country we are lacking this kind of thinkers, and that's why is our educational institutions are not being able to provide right education. You know, in world ranking, we do not get any name of our of universities of our own country. The best university of this country do not get its place within the 1,000 uh, universities of the world. Why? Because we do not have the research friendly atmosphere, education friendly atmosphere. And if we can build, give birth of thousands really competent thinkers, one day we'll be able to get back our position within top 100 universities of the world. So I'm thinking that I should stop here. All these thoughts or speech may seem irrelevant also, as the discussion was completely relating to terms and explanations of research methodology. My study is just my space is just to inspire the students to make themselves uh, competent through studies, to inspire them to study more and more. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shamim sir, to give me the chance to deliver my speech. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. A lot of thanks and gratitude to our Honorable Mushfiq Mahmud sir to enlighten us from his uh, critical thought and critical mindset also. And he knows very well each and every pros and cons of research. And we expect that very soon he will be awarded his PhD and we will get a doctor in our department, inshallah. Now, I would like to request our honorable resource person of today's seminar, Mr. Jahangir Alam, a faculty member of Asian University for Women, to make an address for our beloved students. Mr. Jahangir Alam.
Thank you, sir. Let me tell few things. I worked at Asian University of Bangladesh for almost 3 years. What is unique and different now is, like, back in my time, I have never seen someone from the faculty to arrange this sort of unique program, that like hiring someone or not even inviting someone to collaborate. This is probably the first time happened at the Asian University of Bangladesh or in the Department of English. So in that regard, I need to, and I'm really pleased and happy, feeling respectful that Shamim sir has called me He's way senior to me as my brother and like colleague as well, who is my mentor in life. So I really want to thank him, want to give him a big thank, and can't thank you enough my loving students. It's really a good time to get back Asian, like students from Asian University, where I began my journey as a teacher. So I can never forget. That's akin to my first love. So I can never forget like the feelings or sheer amount of time I spent with the students of Asian University of Bangladesh. But yeah, let me mention again that you are really lucky that Shamim sir is your uh, supervisor, because this never happens. This is a this is something American style. Like as I have the like privilege to work with American people, they don't like they don't have ego. They don't think anything to help students. They never think twice to help students. They do anything whatever is like beneficial or whatever is if they move forward on that. And Shamim sir is exactly doing that. He's calling other people even to collaborate, to get clarified the confusions. That's a positive change, and he has begun that. So you should congratulate him. At least we can like put a big hands for that gentleman. Uh, so yeah, we can pray for him and hope we'll have a long journey. We can collaborate and we can help each other to excel and exceed our limitation. And thank you very much again for calling me. I feel honored to be the discussion. Thank you. God bless you.
Uh, okay, thank you very much, Honorable Research Person of today's seminar, Mr. Jahangir Alam sir from Asian University for Women. Actually, I think our beloved students and we are the faculty members, all of us are enlightened enough with his thoughtful presentation. That is a fantastic and wonderful presentation. So we pray from the part of this seminar that our Honorable Jahangir Alam sir will reach the utmost height of his journey to success, inshallah. And we want to see him in the very much bigger position or any international organization or any prestigious organization, inshallah. We pray for him. Now, I would like to call Mr. Rakibul Islam to offer thanks and gratitude from the part of the students to our honorable guest and research person. Please, Mr. Muhammad Rakibul Islam.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to thank our beloved and I would say esteemed guest. We have got two guests today. The one of them is our faculty, like at present, Mushfiq Mahmood sir, and the other one who used to be a faculty of this university, the Asian University of Bangladesh. And it's been a really pleasure, like when we get to know each other from different parts of the world, different parts of the country, and different parts of regions, and also the universities. There is no barrier right now. Like whatever Shamim sir has arranged for us, like he has been telling this like since the very beginning of this course. Like I would say at the very beginning of this semester, like we would invite guests to enlighten us, like on research methodology. There could be like some other aspects, like in defense and presentation, there would be guests. So it's really inspiring. And first of all, I would like to pay my gratitude on behalf of all these students and me to Shamim sir. That's a like I would say great boost to have you among us, and it's a great thing, like a backbone. I really admire you. I really admire you from the bottom of my heart, and I think that all of the students love you so much because of the gestures, because of the way you treat the students. Like you give them proper flow. You try to motivate them always. Like whatever they do, I have seen you like enthusiastically, like you motivate them. So that's a basic thing of a faculty who nourishes the faculties of the others, like the students. And I really love Mir Mushfiq sir, Mir Mushfiq Mahmud. And he's a kind of like darling to me, I would say. Why? Because he always inspires like doing researches and all that. He always tries to, tries to push us that, okay, you better get involved in researching. If you don't do researches, if you don't open your eyes, ears, and like the sensory things, whatever you have been given from the Almighty, you can't do or you can't contribute to the society or humanity. So if you want to contribute to the society, if you want the betterment for the society or humanity, you must do researches. You must, study hard. You must go beyond the only not the academic studies. Go beyond that. And I give real salute to me Mushfiq Mahmud sir and Jahangir Alam sir. I used to call him brother, like Jahangir Bhai. So when we met several times, like he used to live in our locality, and when I came to know that he is teaching at Asian University of Bangladesh, so I came to know from like the website. I saw the list, faculty list, and I came to know that. So I was really thrilled and excited. I would, meet him again. So I would get to know like a lot of things from him. And I knew that he was studying at NSU like at the time. So that was a like you know. I was expecting, but I didn't get him. Like when I got into this university, Asian University of Bangladesh, so he left out and he joined Asian University for Women, and that was like great achievement for him, I would say. And I came to know from Sadman Shubo, one of the ex-students of Asian University of Bangladesh, and he used to praise him a lot. Jahangir sir, he used to praise Jahangir sir and the other students, who were now they are the ex-students of Asian University of Bangladesh, who praised him a lot for his methods of teaching, for the methodology of teaching, the way he used to arrange group discussions. He used to give the problems to the students, and the students tried to sort them out by themselves. Then if they cannot solve those problems, then he, gives a support. That is the technique, or I would say the method. So he used to apply so many methods. So that comes the methodology. Like in research, we can use a single method or double methods or so many methods to get our outcome. So I really pay my homage, gratitude on behalf of all the students and me as well to this like wonderful person, research person, and wonderful teacher, faculty, Jahangir Alam sir. And thank you so much for being with us.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad
And
Raqibul Islam.
my loved peers, my
Okay.
fellows, and thank you
Okay,
all.
thank you, Muhammad Raqibul Islam, for expressing your gratitude and thanks to our honorable guest on behalf of the students. Honorable guest and my dear students, we would like to conclude our session by expressing my sincere thanks and gratitude to our honorable research person, Mr. Jahangir Alam sir, and our honorable guest, Mr. Mushfiq Mahmud sir. And I would like to congratulate all of my beloved students to attend this type of brilliant seminar. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, sir.